Welcome to the deep dive. You recently shared an interesting article with us. It's by Kenton Patterson over on the Future TechWise blog.
Yes, the one titled Why You're Failing to Make Money Online and How to Fix It.
That's the one.
Yeah.
Yeah, it really got us thinking about, some of the common hurdles people bump up against in this whole online income space.
It did. Patterson, he's pretty good at pinpointing those stumbling blocks that aren't always obvious, right? The kind of stuff that can just, well, throw a wrench in the works, even if you're super enthusiastic.
Exactly. And that's really what we want to dig into with you today. Think of this as our focused look at why maybe your online income goals haven't quite panned out, and maybe more importantly, the actual actionable stuff from Patterson that could help fix it.
Okay.
He's kind of looking at it based on, patterns he's seen and even some tech solutions that are popping up. So, yeah, let's unpack it.
Sounds like a plan. Where does he start?
Right. So he kicks off with something he calls shiny object syndrome.
Yeah.
So this phrase, I think, well, a lot of us probably recognize that feeling, that pull towards the next big thing online.
Oh, yeah. It's funny how the whole online world with constant new platforms and stories of people making it big overnight kind of feeds right into that.
Totally.
It plays on that desire for something new and maybe sometimes hides a bit of fear, fear of really committing to one thing and putting in the work.
That's a really good point. It's like you're constantly seeing these sparkly new possibilities, and it's just so easy to get sidetracked from what you were actually doing.
Mm-hmm.
So Patterson's main observation, something he says he sees again and again, is people just hopping from one online idea to the next. His advice is pretty blunt.
Yeah.
Pick one proven model, just one, and really commit to it for at least 6 months.
Right. And that 6-month mark, it's not just random. It gives you enough time, enough runway to actually get the hang of it, to build some momentum, even small momentum, and start to see if what you're doing is actually, well, working, getting results.
Yeah.
You need that time to get reasonably good at it.
You really do. You
Yeah.
can't get any real depth if you're constantly starting from scratch.
Yeah.
It's about giving yourself the space to learn the details, figure out if there's real potential there, instead of just chasing whatever looks hot right now.
Uh-huh.
This kind of focus, I think, it really speaks to that need for deep understanding without getting totally snowed under. Just zeroing in feels key.
It absolutely is. And it flows right into his next point, actually, this temptation to go for the quick buck instead of building something solid for the long haul.
Ah, the classic get-rich-quick trap. Patterson definitely calls that out, doesn't he? That lure is always there.
Always.
But his counterpoint is so important. Building a real, sustainable online business. That's a marathon, definitely not a sprint.
Exactly. He really hammers home the need for that long-term view. It's not about hitting some instant jackpot. It's about steady effort, day in, day out, treating it like a proper business, and measuring how you're doing over months, maybe even years, not just freaking out about daily fluctuations.
That's mindset shift. Feels huge, doesn't it? It helps you step away from those crazy expectations and just focus on the foundational stuff that actually leads somewhere lasting.
Yeah.
When you look at it that way, the whole process feels a bit less, intimidating, because you're not chasing some mirage of instant cash.
Totally agree. And speaking of feeling intimidated or maybe overwhelmed, Patterson hits another big one. The habit of just consuming tons of info but never actually doing anything with it.
Oh, yeah. Analysis paralysis. Guilty as charged sometimes. That feeling of needing to watch just one more video or read one more guide before you're finally ready.
It's such a common trap, especially with, just the sheer amount of stuff available online. It's so easy to spend hours, days just learning, but never quite getting to the implementing part.
And Patterson's fix for that is, well, pretty straightforward. Balance. Learning's crucial, obviously, but you got to pair it with actually doing stuff.
Right.
He says, set clear goals, small ones maybe, and then use what you just learned, right away. Get your hands dirty, try things out.
That immediate application, it's critical for making the knowledge stick, right? And for building confidence. You remember so much more when you actually do it versus just passively reading or watching. It's that practical experience that counts. And it helps fight that overwhelmed feeling too, because you're actually making moves, not just hoarding information.
Okay, so we're fighting off the shiny objects. We're thinking long term. We're actually doing things with what we learn. What's the next big hurdle Patterson points out?
It's something often overlooked, I think. Really engaging with your audience, properly understanding them. He says a lot of folks just kind of neglect this fundamental piece.
It makes total sense, though, right?
Yeah,
You can have the best thing ever, but if no one actually wants it or they don't even know about it, well, you're stuck.
precisely. Patterson really underlines the need for solid market research. You've got to dig deep. Who is your ideal audience? What do they actually need? What problems are they trying to solve? What do they like? Where do they hang out online?
And it's not just surface level stuff, is it? It's about getting what makes them tick, what their struggles are, so you can offer something, whether it's content or a product, that genuinely connects and helps them.
Mm,
That seems like the bedrock for building that loyal following he talks about.
exactly. When you create something that genuinely hits the mark for your audience, solves a real problem, or adds serious value, they're way more likely to stick around, buy again, even tell others about you.
Right.
And that applies no matter what your niche is or how tech savvy you are. It's core stuff.
Okay, now, even if you've got a great idea and you're connecting with your audience, Patterson mentions a couple of internal roadblocks that can still trip you up.
Yeah.
Inconsistency and impatience.
Oh, yeah. These are like the silent assassins of online dreams. It's easy to start strong, full of energy, but keeping that going week after week, month after month, that's the real challenge.
Life happens, right? Motivation dips, other things demand attention, and it's just tempting to let it slide. But Patterson really stresses how vital it is to keep a regular schedule,
Mhm.
even if it's just a little bit of dedicated time each day or week. That consistency builds momentum.
And then there's the impatience. We live in this world of instant everything, so it's natural to get bummed out if you don't see huge results right away.
Mhm.
But Patterson nails it: real success. It almost never happens overnight. It takes sticking with it, being resilient, pushing through even when it feels slow or tough.
That's such a crucial reminder, I think. It's about building something real, often piece by piece, and that just takes time and sweat. You got to be ready for those slower patches at the start and just keep putting in the work.
Okay, switching gears a bit. Patterson then brings in technology, specifically mentioning on passive. What's the basic idea he's putting forward there?
He kind of frames it as using advanced tech, often AI-driven stuff, to, well, streamline things and speed up online business growth. Think automating repetitive marketing tasks, making customer interactions better, making sales more efficient.
So the core concept is amplifying your own efforts, letting entrepreneurs reach more people maybe, and automating some of the grind involved in running an online biz.
That's basically the gist as he lays it out.
Mhm.
He suggests that using these kinds of AI tools could potentially help you scale up more easily and build those reliable income streams without constantly having to do everything manually.
Yeah.
It definitely ties into that idea of applying knowledge efficiently. And, just for context, On Passive, as we understand it, positions itself as offering a whole suite of these integrated tools, aiming for that kind of all-in-one platform for automating online business stuff.
What's interesting there is that potential to cut down the manual work while still expanding your reach. That's a big hook for a lot of people trying to make it online.
Definitely.
If tech can handle some heavy lifting, like marketing automation or managing customer relationships, it frees you up, right? Gives you
Yeah.
time and brain space to focus on other important things like creating great content or developing your actual product.
Now, Patterson then takes a slight turn in the article, moving beyond just the tactics of making money. He talks about the importance of genuine connection and generosity.
That's a really nice shift, actually. It adds a lot of depth, I think, to his whole take on what success really means. He's basically saying true abundance isn't just about the bank balance. It's also about the relationships you build and the good feeling you get from, helping others out.
It's almost like he's saying this whole online income thing shouldn't just be cold, hard transactions. That bringing in kindness, being authentic, being willing to support others, that can actually lead to a richer journey overall, more fulfilling, maybe even more profitable in the long run, beyond just cash.
Exactly. He touches on that idea when we lift others, we all rise together. It really clicks. It suggests that building a community, helping each other out, actually creates a better, stronger environment for everyone. It's about creating value in lots of ways, not just financially.
And that idea flows pretty naturally into his final point before wrapping up. The power, the importance of having multiple income streams.
Yeah, that's foundational for real financial stability and freedom, isn't it? Not having all your eggs in one basket. It just gives you more security, more options.
Exactly. And he loops back to On Passive here, suggesting its tools could maybe help both the business owners and their customers unlock different ways to earn money. The main idea is just creating a more diverse, more resilient financial setup.
And he connects it back to customer loyalty, too, which is key.
Yeah.
He argues that if you consistently deliver great service and value, you not only build those multiple streams, but you also create really loyal customers.
Right.
And that loyalty is gold for long-term stability. If you're always providing real value, people stick with you.
No. Okay. So just to kind of pull together the main threads from Kenton Patterson for you.
Yeah.
It's about sharp focus on one proven path, thinking long-term, balancing learning with doing. Really getting your audience and connecting with them, sticking with it patiently, and yeah, seeing how tech can boost your efforts. Plus, remembering the value of connection and diversifying your income.
Yeah, he covers a lot of ground. It's a really good mix of practical steps and the right mindset you need for this online world.
So with all that good stuff from Kenton Patterson fresh in our minds, here's maybe a final thought for you to chew on. Thinking about your own situation, what's one specific doable change you could make to how you approach making money online, starting, like, today? Really think about the long game, like we discussed. Is there some shiny object you need to consciously ignore? Is there something you learned recently that you need to just do already?
That's a solid question. Forces you to apply it immediately, like Patterson said.
Yeah. Ultimately, I think Patterson's message is pretty hopeful. He seems to believe that building a future without constant money stress is possible. It comes down to making smart choices, focusing your energy on what actually works, not just chasing quick wins, but building sustainable strategies and real connections. That's how you get lasting prosperity. Anyway, thanks for taking this deep dive with us.